Okay, here we are again with our RevoSlot car. Remember from the last one, we actually had a problem, an interference fit with our other bearing holder on the other side. You can see it's actually doesn't have any issues now, and want to go over sort of what we did to fix that. We used a file that had a little bit of a curve to it, and then we also used a little bit of sandpaper to put through there and sand that down a little bit. And as you can see, there's a little bit of the flashing, the anodization is we've taken off. We've actually done a great job of clearing up the interference fit that was on there, and now that goes right on through. This is our tool. This is actually a tool that's designed for scale auto cars. I think I had alluded to earlier, and you can run one in the front, run one in the back, and you can actually measure both sides to make sure that your chassis is aligned completely. And in this case, it's a great tool for making sure that both sides of the aluminum bearing carriers are actually aligned and parallel with each other, so that there's no extra load or stress on the bearings. And that actually works really well now that we've gone through there and filed it with that. We've got filed it with the sandpaper. Things seem to be working much better. Let's see if the bearings, how they fit. Beautiful, like a glove. You want to make sure you're not taking off too much material. So always in these cases, it is always better to use the old wood measuring and cutting adage of measure twice, cut once. So here what you want to do is you definitely want to make sure that you are taking off a little bit, then checking, then taking off a little bit more, then checking, and taking off a little bit more and checking. But you don't want to do a whole lot of that because you will run into a problem where you take off too much material. And actually that brings me to sort of one of the other points about this car is that there are no parts currently available for it. So one of the sticking points to this car is that if you do damage something, or if you lose a screw, or if you mess something up, getting hold of replacement parts is going to be a bit of a challenge to start with. There are some more parts coming for these, but they're not expected to be in for a couple of months. So it's one of the things, and it is right now the middle of October. So you want to be real careful when you're scheduling these. If you're using them like our club plans to do for a series, you want to make sure that you are planning accordingly. So if you're going to need some parts, you might be a bit of a struggle for a while until you get everything set up, until I get them in. So here we go. We're going to just adjust with a little bit of float in that bearing, just a little bit, and tighten that up. There we go. I've already adjusted the mesh using a piece of paper to insert in there to make sure, check the slop. So basically here, what you want to do is you want to check the amount of slop between the pinion and the spur gear and make sure that it is minimal all the way around, and that's exactly what we've got there. That's a great setup, a nice round and very true spur gear, which is a great thing. The other thing is we went ahead and trued these wheels and trued the tires on these wheels. The wheels are very, very different, and it's one of the things that you need to be aware of as well, is that these wheels are unique to this model in the sense that they are not like anything else you will see in the market for a rubber tire. So it has a rubber tire, but as you can see here, it uses more of what I would consider to be a foam type wheel, that you could actually put a foam tire on there and glue it on there and have that work really well. If you look at Slot, it does have some wheels very similar to this that run their foam tires. So putting other tires on here and running other tires on these wheels could be a bit of a challenge. I've actually installed some Slotits on here, our club runs F30, so I've installed those and installed some NSRs, and both of them are very, very squishy in the center. I haven't actually tried to true a pair or get a pair set up on there. I have merely just tried them out, and that was about it. But I would think that the stock tires from RevoSlot are what you'd want to be sticking with. And fortunately for us, these tires work very, very well on our track so far. So that's how we've alleviated the problem with the rear bushing, or the rear bearing, and we've checked alignment, and we are ready to go and put it all back together. All right.